investigator, journalist, a businessman, and a public affairs analyst. Joining me this morning is Otwikon Franklin Isong. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to our listeners. Good morning, Ike. Happy Wednesday. Good to be here.
Happy Wednesday. I don't know about happy weekend. Happy Wednesday.
For me, every day I give thanks to God.
All right. Otwikon, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
There's a sudden mood in the country and in Akpabio. For some persons, it's a mood of celebration. For some person, it's a sober mood. I don't know what your mood is. But since yesterday, I have been gauging the mood of people, and it's been both, mixed, and it's for some persons excited, some persons sober. But Inec released the final list yesterday for the presidential candidates, as well as that of the National Assembly. So we already have that list, and there have been questions about a particular candidate. There's been the controversy. You and I have done analysis on this particular one, where we've had the rec, come out many times to talk and whatnot. But yesterday, Inec released the list. Bola Tinubu is on that list for the presidential. Peter Obi is on that list. Atiku Abubakar on that list. 15 other persons on that list. And then the number of persons who are going in for APC and PDP for the National Assembly. I'd like to get your take.
You see, when this matter of INEC interfering in political parties' activities, was the subject of discussion, I remember telling you that we are operating a political party democracy, unfortunately, and so the powers of INEC is limited. Likewise, the powers of Nigerians, because we have already surrendered our powers to the Constitution that governs us. And so it therefore means that whoever the political party submits to INEC is what the INEC will use. Even when you try to use the Electoral Act 2022 as amended to give INEC more powers than it should have based on the constitutional provisions, you see that the court will always return INEC to the Constitution, because even when the Electoral Act give INEC more powers than the Constitution provides, when you go to court, the court will say the Constitution is the ground norm, the Constitution is the basis for which every other legislation in Nigeria should subject to. And so when a particular legislation, whether it be it in the state or national legislation, becomes inconsistent with the Constitution of Nigeria, that particular provisions of that act or that enactment remains inconsistency, null and void, up to the point of its inconsistency. It cannot be effective. So what I see today is where the court is redefining or redirecting INEC to what INEC powers should be. I'm trying to refer to the issue of Senator Akpabio, which people have come up to say, he shouldn't be there. Some are saying, yes, he should be there. And I remember when the Federal High Court, by Justice Mwite, make a judgment, I think a vocational court, saying that that INEC went ultra-virus, INEC, overstretched its bounds. INEC became a political party or an aspirant, dictating the pace for political party, that it was wrong. That was the language that the court used, so strong language. That means that the court frowned at INEC interfering in political party businesses. It is when the parties are done with their personal business, they now send a name to INEC. INEC's duty is to publish the name. And where INEC not to determine or not to falter. Where INEC falter is the parties concerned can now go to court to challenge the action of INEC. That is why Senator Akpabio played a smart one by going to court to surrender his supplications to the court and tell the court, my party has sent my name to INEC. INEC has refused to submit, to publish my names and my details. Then the court now look at it and then direct INEC to do what INEC has just done. Don't forget again that I said that it has given a very bad impression of the INEC, because INEC shouldn't have been the one that would have been sued. INEC, that is why INEC cannot appeal. If INEC appeals, then it will give a different meaning to the entire scenario, that INEC is becoming too interested in who becomes the candidate. Yes. Because INEC should have been the one that would have been sued. I have said before, that it is a political party business. Now, when the party submits a name to INEC, if a party member feels aggrieved, he approaches the court to tell the court, I was the one that emerged, not Mr. B, that the INEC had the party has submitted to INEC. INEC duty is to INEC will be joined in the suit. Yes. INEC will not go there and make their own statement and why as to why they publish the name of the person in line with the act empowering them. So, but where INEC is now being sued, INEC has now become an aggrieved member. INEC is now acting for the other person who is aggrieved in the party by now allowing itself to be sued because INEC acted ultra virus. That is why the court had to use those strong languages that INEC had become an aspirant. INEC had become a partisan in this particular contest. So INEC shouldn't have done that. INEC would have just remained neutral. And when the party sends a name to INEC, INEC duty is to publish the name. When a member of the party is aggrieved, he goes to court and then join INEC. He sues the party. Join the person who has been published. Join INEC. INEC goes there as a defendant to explain why he chooses to publish the name.
There is one fundamental part of this conversation that we must have, and that is the part where the outgone resident electoral commissioner, your friend, Barrister Mike Guinea, had said a lot of times that Akpabio's candidature is not recognized because he cannot be, contesting for the presidency and also want to contest for the Senate and whatnot. With everything that Guinea had said and with all that INEC has done now, don't you think at some point there must have been some misinformation?
I have said in a sister program that my good friend and brother in the struggle, Comrade Barrister Mike Guinea, whom I've known since 1992 during the struggle of June 12 and the rest, went beyond his bounds. I had several occasions be on this program and I have said it over. I've even spoken to him on phone. We've even met, and I have maintained my stand that the duty of INEC is to be a referee. If you are watching the role of a referee in a football match, he doesn't tell the player how to kick the ball. He doesn't tell the player where the player should stand.
Officiates.
He just stands and watches. It's like a man who stands on top of a tree, watching every movement and reporting same without bias. So my friend and brother Comrade Mike Guinea misinformed and misguided the INEC headquarters. I have said this over time that he ordinarily wouldn't have joined the political fray by saying, I have submitted a report to Abuja head office and that Abuja head office cannot recognize the images of party of a person A or person B. I said here that Akpabio INEC office is not INEC. He is only representing INEC
as an agent.
As an agency. INEC has branches. I, as the chairman of CLO, I'm not CLO. The CLO head office, I represent the CLO in Akwa Ibom State. My actions is subjected to the decision and policies of CLO headquarters. So INEC in Akwa Ibom State is not the INEC. It's only representing INEC. And they ought to operate in line with our constitutions, in line with the act, that the parliament has created, which is in this case the Electoral Act. And so if the act says you have to monitor a political party's primaries, you monitor the primaries and then you submit your report to your head office. Now the question is, the PDP, the APC, the YPP and the rest also do not have, the ones in the state are not the parties. The party in the headquarters are recognized, but the ones in the state are only state chapters. And so YPP, PDP, APC, Akko parties, all of them deals with INEC headquarters. The INEC head office in Abuja deals with the party's head offices. And so whoever the party head offices submitted to INEC as their candidate are those that the INEC should publish, because the INEC head office deals with these parties' head offices. And so when INEC begin to deal with the branches of the parties sidelining the head offices, that is when INEC will have issues. Like what has happened today, in this case, INEC seems to take side with the INEC INEC head office took side with the INEC rec, who is working with the party's branches, the party chapters in Akwa Ibom State. Whereas the INEC ought to work with the party's head offices. But in this case, the party's chapters here are the ones that INEC was working with. Why do I say this? The party's head office, like in the case of APC, had submitted a letter to the INEC head office telling INEC when they will have their primaries, the venue of the primaries, and who are their state chapters that will officiate this, this event. And then the INEC head office ought to inform the INEC chapter, the INEC in the state, that this is who are coming from Abuja chapter of head office of the APC to conduct these primaries, and this is the venue, and this is where it will hold. If that was done, I wouldn't see the reason for the INEC branch, the INEC reg, to go to another venue, whereas the venue given to him is different from the one that the party in Abuja recognized. So this is where you have that conflict. So that's why when I said that my dear friend Mike Igeni may have misled the national INEC, and the INEC head office ought to have used the law to interpret the actions of the INEC reg. That was why when Senator Akpabio went to court, and the court now ordered that his name should be published, particulars be made. If you look at the list of those published, it is only Senator Akpabio's name that bears INEC order. The other persons there are published by the political party. And in any case, if you look at the list, you will see conflicting, you will see some mix-up.
Of course.
Because I saw in a particular state like Benue, where you have one candidate in YPP, same candidate is in ANPP for the same election. And then this is an issue that INEC ought to have used, INEC ought to have known. Now that person now may have, been there because of either an oversight or mistake or something. So what am I trying to say? The INEC in Akwa Ibom did not, work in line with the law, and they might have misled the INEC headquarters. And the INEC headquarters that have a legal team ought to have studied the situation, knowing that they have correspondences from the APC headquarters that they are dealing with, and know which faction of the chapter to deal with and which venue to have monitored their primaries. Okay. So that being the case, Senator Akpabio's name had been published by INEC in compliance with the law. So I expect that the aggrieved member of the APC can now approach the court and join INEC.
Okay, let's see how that one pans out. However, another person who was also embattled as Senator Akpabio is the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan. You know about this issue with Machida and his emergence, and how Machida had said that he was not going to, shift grounds and allow Lawan to come take the ticket. Lawan did not appear on this one. And many Nigerians have commended INEC about that, because many Nigerians were interested to know how the entire thing will pan out, especially with regards to the Senate President.
Same, I said that Senator Akpabio played a smart one, because the law helps the vigilant, not the indolent. When you see that your right is taken away, what you should do is to approach the court. Senator Ahmed Lawan, the Senate President, has not and did not seek for justice, for redress, when INEC omitted his name, that they will not publish his name. If the party sent his name to INEC and INEC refuses, as they have done to Senator Akpabio, what he would have done would have been to go to court to ask that the court should compel INEC to do what the INEC ought to do. And so since he has left over his right, he can no longer ask for it. He has, in the eyes of the law, he has accepted. But he still has a way out by going to court to now tell the court, I am the one that the party has submitted my name to the INEC. INEC should be made to put my name on the list. So it is not late.
Unlike Akpabio, Lawan did not partake in any primaries.
If the party, I keep on repeating again, if the party, you have a window of a substitution, you have a window of the party organizing up to yesterday when the list came out. The party can, do maneuver and send somebody's name, because I have said here that our law has given the party the right to submit name, to sponsor candidates. Now, the INEC will not decide which of these two persons that the party must sponsor. It's like the INEC throwing a candidate to the party to say you must sponsor this person. Whereas the party will say no, we are the one that will sponsor a candidate, and the law has given us the right to do that. So it is the duty of the party to now challenge the action of INEC in court and said, and tell INEC, you cannot impose someone on us. Because INEC seem to, in this action now, in their action, seem to impose a candidate on the party.
Okay. Still talking about political matters, let's stay on that alignment. Let's come to Akwa Ibom State, where something happened in Akwa Ibom State yesterday, I suppose. And that one has thrown up a conversation. People are really curious where the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly Speaker declared 2 seats vacant over defection from PDP to YPP, and that has thrown up a lot of conversation. Your take on this particular political development?
You know, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has set a precedent. Right from the time of Right Honorable Elder Samuel Ikon, who was the Speaker of the House of Assembly, they declared 5 seats vacant, who defected from the party to another party.
Can I crave your indulgence? Okay. Our correspondent, David Islong, was there. I think it'd be best for us to hear, firsthand that particular declaration. Stay tuned.
The person whose election to the House of Assembly was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period from which that house was elected. It is now public knowledge that we are aware as a fact that the member of the State constituency, Rabbi Musa Council, Honorable Supanana, member of the State constituency, are protected from people to the party, the party that brought them to this office. Therefore, by the power conferred on me by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, I hereby declare the seat of the 200 members vacant. That is the order of this honorable house.
So that is the situation I needed for us to
hear firsthand,
from the horse's mouth.
It's so liquid. You see, I want to be clear about this. The House of Assembly has set a precedent for itself in 2014 when Right Honorable Elder Samuel Ikon was the Speaker. He declared the seat of 5 members vacant, who also defected from the PDP to the APC. In 2019 election, we had Right Honorable Onofioc Luke declaring 5 members seat vacant, who also defected from the party that sponsored them, the PDP, to the APC. Now heading to 2023, we have 2 members of the PDP in the House of Assembly. That is Right Honorable Usorokwanuso, member representing Ibono and Eseleket, and the member representing the Kono state constituencies. That Honorable Asukwanana Udo seat has been declared vacant. That on the ground that they have left their party that sponsored them, the PDP, to YPP, citing section 109 sub G of the Constitution, which says that a member of a House of Assembly shall vacate his seat in the House if the G now says, being a person whose election to the House of Assembly was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which that election was elected. That is what the Speaker had used as the law authorizing him to declare the seat vacant. So this is where we stand now. I am thinking as a person, I have just told you that the House has set a precedent for herself. But I keep wondering, because we have National Assembly members who have defected, who are also lawmakers, and their seats are protected by the leadership of the House. It is when they now go to court, like in the case of 2019, when the Right Honorable Onofioc Luke declared the seat of 5 members in St. Tuen, Idong Ituen, and the rest vacant. They went to court, and the Federal High Court ordered that the action of the House was wrong because they had already gone to court seeking for protection, and that the matter was before the court, that the Speaker acted acted ultra virus by by seeking to resort to self-help, that the speaker would have waited for the court pronouncement, even though the court held that the moment you defected from your party to another party, you have lost your seat. So this is where we are today. I think that for me, that the House of Assembly in the state has set a precedent for herself, and of course, the law backing their actions, they are right to do it.
All right. Another issue before we head on to other pressing issues. Yesterday, the court that was, of course, that is holding the, looking at the issue of Akpabio and Umoino.
So you did not add to balance the issue. You didn't add that there are discussions all over the state that they remember representing Mbo. Chief Johnson.
Thank you for reminding me about that, because I was looking at time.
Yes, to balance the equation, to balance the conversation now. Yes. There is also a discussion in the states that remember representing Mbo, Chief Johnson defected from the APC to the PDP. And don't forget that in 2019, the member representing Orefon, Uroko, I think Achibong, popularly known as Poison, defected from APC to the PDP, and his seat wasn't declared vacant along with his twins. Now, in this particular one, now there are reports that the member representing Mbo has defected, Chief Johnson has defected from the PDP from the APC that sponsored his ticket to the PDP. Okay. And his seat has not been declared vacant. This report is all over the media. I've not confirmed it. But if that is the case, you must be able to balance the equation by, if that is the truth, then the speaker should do the needful.
Of course, as you rightly said, if that is the truth, the speaker, we trust, will do the needful, and not just should, will do the needful. This matter with Akpabio and Umoino, there was an adjournment, so we're not really clear on the date, and the other matters connected therewith. You have an update on it so that we could just breeze past it briefly and then talk on
the unfortunate situation we are having in this particular matter is that the journalists are not allowed to cover the court
proceedings
and report exactly what the court is saying. So you are informed by the two factions. You will read what those loyal to Umoino in the media are saying. You read those loyal to Akpabio in the media, what they are saying. And this seems to give counter information to the public, and the public seem to be disinformed and misinformed by what we read daily. And so that is why, and so the media now stay out of it.
Yes.
But I think the court should allow journalists who are neutral, who are not belonging to any of the camp, to cover the report so they can so as to represent the court perfectly in the public, as it stands that the court
give the true position
of what the court is saying, as it stands that the court is being misrepresented in the public, and the court is being given, being made to speak from both sides of its mouth, from the way it goes. Because when you hear what faction A is saying, that the court says this, you believe. And tomorrow you see another report that the court says this, you also believe. So the court is now being made to be speaking from both sides of our mouth. So it now behoves on the court to allow journalists, trained journalists, to cover her in order to report what she is saying to the public. Now, I have heard that the matter yesterday, the matter of Akpabio versus Umoino was adjourned to 24th of October. Those loyal to Umoino are the ones saying it. Those loyal to Akpabio said it was adjourned to the 14th of October. So either of these two, I think that there is need for the court to be well, represented. I have spoken to those concerned, and I can tell you that the court case is adjourned to on the 14th of October. This is what I have confirmed.
Not 24th.
I have confirmed this from sources very close to those who are affected by the matter. And this is what they have said. So please, there is no need for anyone to misinform anyone about the court proceedings. The court is a place where the court cannot speak for herself. That is why the court sometimes is helpless. So but when you come and misinform the public, you can be cited for contempt or contumacy. So one should be very careful reporting what the court did not say or what the court says in a way to favor your candidate.
As you rightly said, I think it behoves on the court to throw open its doors to allow at least trained journalists from, reputable media organizations to be there, to be a part
Because
of this
what I have
discussion.
been
That
told,
way, they are not partisan.
what I have been told about this matter is that, every court day, persons who come from the court officials, I don't know how true it is, will come and say, Party A, appoint 5 members from your camp to enter. Party B, appoint 5 members to come to enter. And those are people that will be allowed to enter. As I have been told, I'm not sure.
Unconfirmed.
I'm not sure that court can allow that kind of practice, because that is where we are being misinformed. I've not read for instance, I've not read any of the proceedings from any of the national media. I've not even heard any of the state.
Everything we're saying is on social media.
Any of the state reputable media houses reporting what the court is actually saying. I'm only hearing social media report, and these are from camps that are affected in the matter, and they misinformed us.
Yes, and at some point, our newsmen have been there. They only just, interview the lawyers, counsel to the.
And that is after the case.
After the case, but there are certain critical aspects of the proceedings they may have missed. And as you rightly said, I do hope that the court will heed to this particular one. That way, proceedings can be perfectly represented and we don't have a misrepresentation. But we'll dwell on one final issue because we lack time. I can't believe the time is fast gone. Students have blocked the roads and they are threatened to continue to block roads. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has told them not to try it. If they try to block roads in Kaduna, I don't know. Kaduna, El-Rufai is one very controversial person. Your take on what the students, NANS is doing, blocking major roads. They were at the airport in Lagos and they were peaceful about it. Of course, the Minister for Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said what they did is illegal. What's your take on this blocking of roads and blocking of critical infrastructures?
My take is very simple. What is the genesis of this road blockage, and what are they looking for? I'm asking a rhetorical questions. What are they looking for? Are they blocking this road because they want to block the roads? Are they, protesting because they want to protest? Are they taking to the street because they want to, because they are happy? The question here is no. The youth are simply, the students are simply saying our future is in disarray. Our future is no longer guaranteed. In a country where if you are at the age of 30, you cannot get a job. Every company that wants to employ you will tell you must from the age of 24, 25. Once you are 30 years of age, you will lose opportunity of being employed in even the public service. So now you've kept our children in the house for close to 8 months because of this ASU and federal government debacle. Why can't the federal government and ASU come to an agreement? Why should the federal government even take ASU to court to demand that a court should order that ASU should open universities and begin to go to teach when you have an agreement that you cannot keep?
It's more like
this is a government that had an agreement with the union leaders and you can't keep them, and you are now trying to use the stick approach to begin to force your employees to go to work without their welfare being catered for. So I think that the action of the students are in line with the law. Peaceful demonstration is in line with our constitution. They are not causing any havoc. They are not causing any. They are not armed. They are not carrying weapons. They are only staying on the road, demanding for their right to be given to them. Do they have a right under the law to education?
Yes.
The answer is yes. But here are the ones whose parents are even paying for this education in high cost, and yet the government have allowed their employees, ASU, to shut down the school for close to 8 months, and you want the students to be sitting down clapping for the federal government and for the ASU. So I'm happy that the students are being peaceful in their conduct, and I want to employ them and urge them to continue to be peaceful in their demand. They should not carry weapons. They should just be there peacefully singing songs to God, praying that God should intervene in this matter.
Well, Twicon, we have just less than 5 minutes, so we'll take calls so that people can contribute to the conversation. So these are the numbers for you to call: 0906 0004945. Alternatively, you can reach 0906 0005945. Let's get your take, your contribution on some of the trending issues we've looked at this morning, especially as it concerns national and state issues. Text messages already pouring in. You can as well do that to 0906 0009455. Let's find out who's here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hi.
Morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Blackboy calling.
Black boy, go ahead.
Good morning. Yeah.
Mr. Nde, good morning.
Yes. What you are just saying is nothing but the truth. You have spoken very well. But the only thing I can inform Nigeria is that please, anyhow they can do, they should settle the issue so that they can go back, so that the children can go back to school. That is the most important thing. Two, the issue of Akpabio, names and Lawan. I don't expect Lawan to go back to Senate. Let Lawan to go and relax so that another person will take the position. And Lawan has been there for since 1990. I didn't make mistake. So for Akpabio stand election and win the election. But Lawan did not stand election. So let him go and relax. He has been there. Let the person to go and take over. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Black boy. We'll take another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Captain.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, Ultimate on the line.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please, I want to ask, because we learned that the High Court will pass the judgment, I think today or tomorrow, in the case filed by Pudo. So if at the end of the day, the High Court, the other faction said Pudo should be recognized by INEC, so whose name will INEC now publish?
Well, Tricon will give his response to that. Let's do text messages here. This one says, Ike, the governor said all projects started will be completed before the end of administration. I hope payment of next of kin, primary school teachers and retired gratuity for 10 years will be made before he leaves office. Richard Aiden. And this one here says, good morning, the iconic Oga Ike and the legendary Otwekong. A big congratulations to the political colossus of Akwa Ibom State, the man with uncommon grace, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Senator Akpabio is a consummate and sagacious politician with brains and brawn that cannot be capriciously shoved off the political radar. All things being equal, Satris Paribus. I see Akwa Ibom State producing the next Senate president from Mr. Francis Bassini Coruscanian. And the next text message here reads, this Umoino case could have been settled in a gentleman's way than flexing muscles in court that we cannot predict. It is not the poor man that rushes to the market that comes back first. The ovation that greets you while going to the market may not be the same when you're coming back. Also, the person who instructs you on what to say in a case may not be able to tell you what questions that will be asked you, and your own private wisdom may likely fail you in public domain. I would strongly urge that all elders and elites and our prime movers should wade into this matter for peace sake, if it is not too late. That's what I'm saying. Otwekong, we do not have the luxury of time. We'll take your part in shot.
The caller that talked about if there is another court will be delivering judgment and when the judgment comes and it's not in favor of Senator Akpabio, which one will INEC obeys? Now, what you will understand is every matter before the court has the facts in issue. What the plaintiff, in this case Ekbodom, want the court to determine. Now, the suit that Akpabio went to court to file did not have Ekbodom as a defendant. He was not joined in the suit. It was only INEC, Akpabio versus INEC. And so INEC has obeyed, as it were, judgment that that the court gave in favor of Akpabio. So what I will expect Ekbodom to do is to persuade INEC to appeal that judgment that INEC is now obeying, which is that Akpabio's name has been published. If any other judgment comes, I don't think that another court can sit as an appeal. A court of concurrent jurisdiction can sit. A federal high court can sit as an appeal to a federal high court. You must understand this now. Judgment has been given by a federal high court, and another federal high court has another matter which might be similar to this one. Which one confessed? The one that has been delivered now, that INEC has obeyed, has confessed, and this other federal high court judgment might not overrule, because the federal high court has concurrent, they are of the same level. You can only go to an appeal court to appeal what the federal high court has delivered as judgment. So as it were now, the INEC has obeyed judgment that's been given by a federal high court, it will take an appeal court to appeal that judgment, and that can only be done by Inec, who will appeal that judgment, because Inec was a defendant in the suit, not Akpabio or any other party.
All right, Twikong, I must thank you very much for coming around to shed light on this very, very critical matters of national and state concern. Thank you again for coming. Of course, we'll do this, God willing, next week, Wednesday. Until then, my name is Ike. And,